Good morning, children. Today we will start our third chapter, fiber to fabric. So fiber means thread and fabric means cloth. In this chapter we will learn about history of clothing, sources of fiber and conversion of fiber to fabric. So the basic necessities for human beings are food, shelter and clothing. And clothes protects our body from heat, cold, rain, insect bites, etc. The traditional clothes worn by people in our country vary from region to region. Depending on the climate of the place, people wear different clothes. And clothes are made up of different types of materials. For example, cotton saree is made up of cotton, jacket is made up of leather, and sweater is made of wool. So next our topic is history of clothing. It is said that humans started wearing clothes more than 1,50,000 years ago. In the beginning of civilization, people used animal skins and the barks and leaves of trees as clothes. After people began to settle in agricultural communities, they started weaving twigs and grass into mats and baskets. Vines and animal fleece or hair were twisted together into long strands. Slowly, they began to weave these strands into the fabric. In the next stage, flax and cotton were woven into clothes. The early Indians wove fabrics made out of cotton that grew in the regions near river Ganga. In those times, people just draped the fabric to cover themselves. People started wearing stitched clothes only after the needle was invented. These stitching needles are made up of bones and ivory and have been discovered in Russia. Even today, in India, we see people wearing unstitched garments like turbans, saris and dhotis. Just as there is a large variety in the food eaten all over country, a large variety exists in fabrics and clothing items also. So our next topic is sources of fiber. Sources of fiber means where we get fibers. We get fibers from plants, animals and chemicals. Thus fibers can be broadly classified into two types, natural fibers and synthetic fibers. Natural fibers means the fibers that are obtained from natural source, that is plants and animals. Example, cotton, jute, silk, wool, etc. Cotton and jute we get from plant, silk and wool we get from animals. The first one is plant fibers. So plant fibers means fibers obtained from plant sources. Example, cotton, jute, coir and linen. First one is cotton. Cotton is the world's most popular plant fiber. It is a warm season crop that requires moderate rainfall. It is obtained from cotton plants that grow in black soil in western and southern India and alluvial soil in northern India. The cotton plant bears fruits about the size of a lemon called cotton bolls. So the fruit name is cotton bolls. The bolls are full of seed and cotton fiber. They burst open when they are ripe. The fibers are then used to create the yarn using the following steps. The first step is picking. Picking means collecting the cotton bolls or collecting the fruit. The cotton fibers are collected by hand from the ripe cotton bolls. This process is called picking. Earlier this was done with hands, but nowadays machines are used in big cotton mills. Second, our topic is ginning. Cotton bolls consist of fiber and seed. So the cotton fibers are separated from the seed by combing them. It is known as ginning. So ginning means separation of seeds from cotton fibers. Ginning was traditionally done by hand, but nowadays machines are used. Next is spinning. The fibers are cleaned and made into long thread-like strands. The fibers are spun using spinning machines to form cotton yarn. The process of making yarn from fiber is called spinning. So spinning means process of making yarn from fibers called spinning. Spinning machines are used to spin yarn on a large scale, and this yarn is used for making fabrics. Now, our fourth step is weaving. Weaving means after spinning, yarn is then made into cotton fibers by weaving. The process of arranging two sets of yarn together to make a fabric is called weaving. So, weaving means arranging two sets of yarn together to make a fabric. Arranging of two sets of yarn. Cloth is woven on looms. They are either hand operated or power operated. Hand operated are also known as hand looms, and power operated is known as power looms. So next is uses of cotton. Cotton is a soft fabric, very soft fabric. It lets air to pass through it. That is why it is called a breathing fiber, because it lets air to pass through it. The sweat absorbed by cotton fabric evaporates easily, and thus it cools the body. This property makes cotton fabric comfortable to wear in summer season. Especially we wear the cotton clothes in summer season. Cotton is mostly used for making clothes of various kinds such as towels, bedsheet, curtains, saris, etc. Next type of natural fiber or plant fiber is jute. Jute is a natural fiber with a golden silky shine, and hence is popularly known as golden fiber. It is known as golden fiber because it is a golden silky shine. It has a golden silky shine. It is obtained from the stem of jute plant and is the second most important plant fiber after cotton. Jute is in great demand because of the cheapness, softness, strength, length, durability and uniformity of its fiber. Jute plants mainly grows in places that have high temperatures and plenty of rainfall. It is cultivated during the rainy season, and it grown in alluvial soil, which is found usually in the delta region of the Gangas and Brahmaputra rivers. In India, jute is mainly grown in West Bengal, Bihar and Assam. Jute is generally sown between February and May, depending upon its different varieties. The crop is ready for harvesting in 4-5 months. The process of obtaining jute yarn from the plant is as follows. The first process is retting. The jute plant is generally harvested when it is in the flowering stage. After harvesting, the stems of jute plants are cut to the ground and tied into bundles and are then soaked in water. Soaked in water for about 20 days until they start rotting. Then the fibers are separated by hand from the rotting stems. This process is called retting. The rotting of stems is known as retting. After the stem stripping, rinsing, washing and cleaning is done, and the fiber is dried in the sun and pressed into bales. Next step is spinning. Once the fibers have been obtained, they are made into yarn by twisting the strands together. This process of making yarn from fiber is called spinning. So twisting of strands together is known as to make the fiber is known as the spinning. Uses of jutes. They are used in making gunny bags, shopping bags, ropes, rugs, carpets, curtains, etc. Other useful plant fibers are coir, hemp and flax. Coir or coconut fiber is a natural fiber extracted from the husk of coconut. It is mostly used to make doormats, carpets and other flooring items. Hemp. So another important plant fiber is hemp. It is mostly used to make ropes, carpets, cloth papers and nets. Flax. Flax is obtained from the stem of flax plant or woven to make a fabric called linen. It is mainly used in the production of rope and high quality paper. Next is animal fiber. Animal fiber means fibers that are obtained from animal sources. For example, wool and silk. First one is wool. We get wool from hair or fleece of sheep, goat, rabbit, yak and camel. The process by which fleece is removed, fleece or hair. Fleece means hair. It is also known as hair. Is removed from an animal is known as shearing. The shearing is removal of the hair from the animal. After shearing, the woolen fibers are washed in big tanks to remove dirt and grease. This fiber is then woven or knitted to make woolen clothes. They are mainly used in making sweater, cap, shawl, gloves, blanket, etc. In addition to clothing, it is also used for making carpets and upholstery. Second type of animal fiber is silk. So you all know that we get silk from silkworm. Silk fibers obtained from the cocoons of the silk moth. The silk moth lives on the leaves of mulberry plants. The silk secretes an unbroken fiber cocoon around itself. The cocoon is boiled and unwound to form the fiber. The fiber is then spun to form a silk yarn. The rearing of silkworms for the production of silk is called sericulture. So sericulture means rearing of silkworms for the production of silk. It is mainly used for making saris and wedding clothes. Next is synthetic fibers. Synthetic fibers are also known as man-made fibers, or this type of fiber is made by man or by chemicals. Obtained from plants, man-made fibers and are not obtained from any plant and animal sources. The rapid development in science and technology has resulted in the manufacture of artificial fibers to meet the growing demands of increasing population. Examples are nylon, rayon, polyester are synthetic fibers. So the synthetic fibers are strong, do not get wrinkled and dry up easily. These fabrics have lesser air spaces with them, so they do not absorb sweat and are unsuitable for using in hot and humid climate. That is why synthetic fibers are usually mixed with other natural fibers such as cotton or wool to make cloth which has strength and can also breathe and absorb sweat. So these are the synthetic fibers. Next our topic is conversion of fiber to fabric. How we convert the fiber into fabric, thread into cloth. All clothes are made from fibers. If we look closely at any fabric, we can see that is made up of many threads. These thin threads are called yarn. So the thin threads are called yarn. These yarns together produce fabric. Each yarn is further made up of many long and very thin strands are called fibers. So thin strands are called yarn, but the yarns together produce fabric. Each yarn is made up of very thin strands. They are called as fibers. The fabric is then stitched to make clothes. For example, cotton fabric can be stitched into cotton frock or a cotton kurta. For the conversion of fiber to fabric, two main processes are used. These are weaving and knitting. The first one is weaving. Weaving is the process of arranging two sets of yarns together perpendicular to each other in this way, perpendicular to each other to make a fabric. Fabrics are woven using a machine called loom. These looms may be operated by power or by hand. Next is knitting. This is a knitting with the help of wool. Knitting is a process that makes use of single yarn to make a piece of fabric. That is why if we pull a single yarn from a torn woolen garment, it keeps unraveling. Knitting can be done by hand or on machines. So children, the chapter has been done. Please refer the PDF file which is downloaded and do the exercise in your classwork copy. Hope you have understood the chapter. Thank you.